Urgent Dallas Cowboys fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, what's up, Cowboys Nation? Today, we're diving deep into a story that's been making waves in the Dallas Cowboys community and across the NFL landscape. We're talking about some serious injury concerns that are hitting our beloved team right now. Injuries are always a part of football, but when they start piling up, especially among key players, it can shake the foundation of a team's season. And trust me, the implications of what's happening with the Cowboys right now go way beyond just a few missed practices or games. This could influence playoff races, team chemistry, and even the way we see the team's future unfolding this year. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are navigating through a tough stretch with some of their most impactful players battling physical setbacks. Among them, we have CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Guyton, Trevon Diggs, and Jadeveon Clowney, four names that, when healthy, are instrumental to the team's identity. But as of now, each of them is dealing with injuries that could impact their availability, their performance, and ultimately, teams' chances of achieving their goals for this season. So let's unpack what's happening, what it means for the Cowboys, and how this could shape the road ahead. Starting with CeeDee Lamb, what a season he's having, right? The star wide receiver has been a cornerstone of Dallas's offense, transforming from promising rookie to one of the league's top pass catchers. But lately, there are reports indicating that Lamb is dealing with some limitations, possibly due to a recent injury. Now, we all know how crucial he is: his route running, his ability to make contested catches, and his chemistry with Dak Prescott have been the backbone of the Cowboys' aerial attack. Losing Lamb, even temporarily, could be a game changer. It's not just about missing a few catches. It's about the entire offensive rhythm being affected. Remember, the Cowboys have been leaning heavily on Lamb to carry that big play threat, especially in clutch moments. His absence would mean other receivers need to step up, but the question is, who can fill that void seamlessly? Gallup, Talbot, or even a backup like Simi Fehoko? None of them quite match Lamb's consistency and explosiveness. So what does this mean for Dak Prescott and the offense as a whole? It could lead to more pressure on the running game or force the coaching staff to develop new passing schemes on the fly. And then, we have Tyler Guyton, a name that's been quietly rising in the eyes of Cowboys fans. Guyton, an offensive tackle, has shown flashes of promise in his rookie season, but recently he didn't participate in practice due to a lingering injury. Oklahoma fans might remember him as a solid blocker with good athleticism, but the NFL is a different story. When a player like Guyton is sidelined, it puts extra stress on the offensive line. The Cowboys' offensive line has been relatively stable, but injuries are part of the game and depth becomes crucial. If Guyton's injury lingers, who steps in? Are we confident in the backups to handle the pressure, especially against aggressive defenses? The offensive line's health is always a key factor in the team's offensive production, and any disruption here can ripple through the entire game plan. Now, let's turn to the defensive side, where things are equally concerning. Trevon Diggs, oh man, what a pivotal player he is for Dallas. His ability to shut down top receivers and create turnovers with his ball-hawking skills has been a hallmark of the Cowboys' defense. When Diggs is on the field, the opposing offense often hesitates, knowing they're facing a player capable of changing the game with a single play. But recently, reports have indicated that Diggs is dealing with some physical issues, which could limit his participation in upcoming games. That's not good news. The secondary depends heavily on his presence. Without him, the entire defensive scheme might need to adjust. Opponents could exploit the weakness on the outside, and the Cowboys' pass defense could suffer. This raises questions about who would step up in Diggs' absence. Is it Kelvin Joseph, Daron Bland, or someone else? How quickly can they adapt? And importantly, how does this impact the team's overall confidence and game plan? And finally, Jadeveon Clowney. Fans know him as a disruptive force on the defensive line. His ability to pressure the quarterback and plug gaps against the run has been a valuable asset for Dallas's defense. But like the others, Clowney is now battling injuries. His physical presence is critical in third-down scenarios and short-yardage situations. If he's sidelined or limited, the Cowboys could struggle to generate the pass rush they need to complement their coverage units. How will the coaching staff compensate? Will they lean more on Micah Parsons and others? Or will they need to adjust their schematics to maximize what they have? Clowney's experience and power are hard to replace, so his injury status looms large. All these injury reports come at a crucial time. The NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint, but for a team like Dallas, which has playoff aspirations, every game becomes a must-win. The injuries could be a double-edged sword. They test the team's depth, resilience, and coaching ingenuity. It's a real challenge for Mike McCarthy and his staff to keep everyone ready, to develop contingency plans, and to keep morale high. The injury bug is a common adversary in the NFL, but how the Cowboys respond will determine whether they can stay competitive and push for a deep playoff run. Now, let's pause here for a moment. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and IT makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. Delving into the broader context, it's important to remember that injuries have played a significant role in the Cowboys' recent history. Over the last few seasons, we've seen key players go down at crucial moments, impacting their chances in the playoffs. The team's depth has been tested repeatedly, and yet there's always been a resilience that's kept Dallas competitive. This season is no different, but the stakes are higher. With the NFC playoff picture becoming clearer as the season progresses, every game lost due to injury can be a setback. The Cowboys need to be strategic, not just in their game plans, but also in how they manage their roster and recoveries. Looking at the statistics, CeeDee Lamb has been spectacular, with over 900 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns so far, making him one of the top receivers in the league. His yards after catch, route running precision, and consistency have been vital to the Cowboys' offense. However, any injury that limits his ability to run routes or make plays could reduce that production significantly. For example, if Lamb is hampered by a lingering injury, his yards per reception might decline, and his ability to make contested catches could diminish, forcing Dak Prescott to look elsewhere or take more risks downfield. Trevon Diggs, on the other hand, is not just about his interceptions, but also his coverage stats. His coverage grade and completion percentage allowed when targeted are among the best in the league. Losing him or seeing him limited could increase the target share for other receivers and tight ends, potentially exposing secondary vulnerabilities. The secondary's success often hinges on Diggs' ability to lock down one side of the field, giving the rest of the defense the freedom to play aggressive zone or man coverage. Regarding Jadeveon Clowney, his impact isn't always measured solely by sacks, but also by his presence on third downs and run-stopping plays. His disruption at the line of scrimmage often affects the quarterback's timing and decision-making. If he's sidelined, the Cowboys might need to lean more heavily on Micah Parsons to generate pressure, which could lead to fatigue or increased injury risk for Parsons in the long run. This injury scenario also prompts us to consider the coaching staff's strategic adjustments. Will they shift to more conservative schemes to protect players? Will they increase rotational depth to keep players fresh? And how will this affect the team's chemistry and morale? These are questions that every Cowboys fan should be pondering, especially as we approach the critical stretch of the season. When we compare Dallas's current situation to other teams in the league, it's clear that injuries are a universal challenge, but some teams handle it better than others. The Kansas City Chiefs, for example, have shown remarkable resilience in dealing with injuries to key players like Travis Kelce or their offensive line. The Patriots, historically, have thrived on their depth and adaptability. Cowboys, with their talented but sometimes injury-prone roster, need to demonstrate that same resilience. It's about more than just having star players healthy. It's about the collective effort, the depth of the roster, and the coaching staff's ability to adapt mid-game and mid-season. Now, let's look ahead. What does this mean for the Cowboys' prospects in the coming weeks? Well, the schedule is daunting. They have some tough opponents ahead, games against division rivals, playoff contenders, and teams with potent offenses and defenses. Losing key players at this stage could tilt the balance of those matchups. For example, if CeeDee Lamb is limited, how will the offense perform against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles or the San Francisco 49ers? Can the defense compensate for the absence or limited play of Trevon Diggs and Jadeveon Clowney? Those are critical questions that will be answered on the field. The Cowboys have historically been a team that can rally when faced with adversity. Think back to past seasons where injuries or setbacks pushed them to find new solutions. The question now is whether this current challenge will be a mere obstacle or a defining moment that shapes the season. Will we see emerging players step up? Will the coaching staff be able to reconfigure their schemes effectively? These are the stories that will unfold in the coming weeks, and we need to stay tuned to see how Dallas responds. As for the fans, the atmosphere is electric. Everyone is eagerly awaiting updates on the health status of Lamb, Guyton, Diggs, and Clowney. Social media is flooded with speculation, hope, and concern. Fans are rallying behind their team, wishing for quick recoveries and strong performances. It's the kind of collective energy that can lift a team during tough times. But it's also a reminder that in football, nothing is guaranteed. Every snap, every play, every game counts, especially when the roster is facing these hurdles. Looking at the broader NFL context, injuries have shaped the season for many teams. The San Francisco 49ers, for example, have had to adapt with their own injury issues, and their depth has been tested repeatedly. The Philadelphia Eagles, despite injuries at key positions, have managed to stay competitive through smart scheming and player development. The Cowboys, with their talent and resilience, aim to join that elite group, but they must overcome these current injury setbacks first. Now, as we anticipate what's next, the coaching staff will likely be working around the clock to develop contingency plans. Will they increase the workload for other receivers or defensive backs? Will they rotate players more frequently to keep everyone fresh? And what about the mental toughness of the team? Injuries can take a toll on morale, but they can also serve as motivation to elevate performance. The leadership of Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and even the coaching staff will be crucial in maintaining focus and unity during this challenging period. In conclusion, folks, what we're witnessing right now is a true test of the Dallas Cowboys' character. Injuries are an inevitable part of football, but how a team responds defines its season. The players affected, Lamb, Guyton, Diggs, and Clowney, are all vital cogs in the machine, and their health will significantly influence the team's trajectory. But beyond just the physical aspect, this is about mental resilience, strategic adjustments, and collective effort. The Cowboys have faced adversity before, and history shows they can rise to the occasion. The question is, will they do it again this season? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the journey is far from over, and the story is still being written. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this injury situation? Do you think the team has enough depth to overcome these challenges? Who do you believe will step up in the absence of Lamb, Diggs, Guyton, or Clowney? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cowboys community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insights into your favorite team. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the spirit of Cowboys Nation alive. Thanks for watching, and let's go Cowboys.